Hello everyone, my name is Charlotte and I have been posting BOOKTOK videos on TikTok for about 10 months now, and I have had the absolute time of my life building a little family of book lovers there, and I thought why not just give it a go and attempt to make a booktube video, because I could honestly talk about books for hours and hours on end and not get bored, not get tired at all, because I have a growing collection of romance books on my shelf. I've got random areas of my room full of books because my shelf is full. In conclusion, I kind of love romance books a lot. Anyway, I thought why not make a fun YouTube video where I talk about some really popular BOOKTOK books and let you know what I thought of them, so that you don't have to go into a book and read it and absolutely hate it, because you've got me here to tell you what it was like. So I've got a whole pile of some books I've read that are very popular on BOOKTOK, and I'm basically just going to tell you a little bit about what they're about, who the characters are, what the plot is, and some tropes in them, and let you know what I thought of them, because some BOOKTOK books I've absolutely hated with a fiery passion when the rest of BOOKTOK has loved them, and some of them I've absolutely loved when the rest of BOOKTOK has hated, and being in both of those situations is a little bit difficult, I will be honest. But we're going to start right away with, I'm just going to say it, my favourite book series to ever exist, the Addicted series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This book series is my absolute life. Lily and Lo, the main characters of this series. They are all over BOOKTOK, and I have a feeling they will be for months or even years, because I will never ever get sick of hearing about Lily and Lo and their siblings and best friends in the Calloway Sisters series. So basically, Addicted to You is the first book in the Addicted series, and it follows two best friends, Lily and Lo, who both have some pretty troubling and scary addictions. And the one problem with this is that they come from very, very famous families. So when you have addictions like they do, you can't really let the world know that. So that is why in Addicted to You, Lily and Lo live together and have to fake being in a relationship to hide their addictions. Lily and Lo have been best friends their entire life, but for the sake of the media and for the sake of their families, they need to pretend to be happy and in love, totally healthy, normal relationship. And although they do love each other as best friends, they both live together for the sole reason of being able to indulge in their addictions without the consequences. And in Addicted to You, you go through the journey with Lily and Lo, and you see their heartbreaks, their troubles, their moments of love, fun, laughter, friendship, and family. And these two are just two of my favourite characters in the entire world. They have the most beautiful story in the world, and I highly recommend reading this. I've given the entire series as a whole 5 stars. This series will make your heart burst, and it will just keep you distracted from your troubles or whatever you've got going on for weeks on end, because I know that having a good book to just escape into when you're going through some tough shit is really good. So after Addicted to You, we're going to talk about a kind of controversial one that some people hate and find absolutely disgusting, and other people absolutely love. That is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. So I read Punk 57. Just a quick content warning for this book, it does contain very explicit sexual content. In February of this year, 2022, and although so many people absolutely hate it, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Anyway, I absolutely loved Punk 57. I gave it 5 stars out of 5, which is kind of rare for me. Lately I've been in the worst slump of my life for like 3 or 4 months, but at the start of the year I was reading some amazing 5-star reads, and this was one of them. So basically, Punk 57 follows Misha and Ryan, and in this book they have been pen pals for a few years. They became pen pals from a class project, basically just being set up for some assignment, writing letters to each other, was nothing much. But then they became really close with each other through these letters, and really grew a really great bond through these letters, even though they had never met and they had no idea what each other looked like, and kind of had rules with each other that they couldn't look at each other on social media. They didn't try to find each other throughout the years. They just wrote to each other and that was it. But then suddenly one day the letters stop and they just stop writing to each other and they kind of continue on with their lives. But then is that a spoiler? I don't think I'm spoiling the book, but basically Misha moves to a new town and then he sees a photo of this girl online and her name's Ryan, and she fits the description of the girl he was writing letters to very perfectly, and he realizes something is off, and then the two become sort of enemies. They absolutely hate each other. Ryan has absolutely no idea that this is the Misha and that this is the boy who she had been talking to her whole childhood through letters. And then they become enemies. They hate each other. They absolutely despise each other for really no reason at all. But then we follow the story of them being enemies to lovers, to enemies to lovers, to enemies to lovers. Really, it is such an amazing story. I loved it. This one is such a great romance book. Enemies to lovers, 5 stars out of 5. Highly recommend. Next one I want to talk about is The Silent Patient. I feel like you can already tell by this physical reaction that I don't have very good things to say about this book. Unfortunately, I hated this book. I wish I loved it. I really do wish that I could say great things about it because I know so many people loved it. But this book was very bad, in my opinion. I'll just come straight out and say it. It was bad. I think I gave it like 2 stars or 2.5 stars out of 5, and that's like the lowest I've ever rated a book in my life, in my history of reading books. But basically, The Silent Patient is about this woman called Alicia, and she lived a perfect life with her husband. They lived together in happiness and peace and love forever, until one day 6 years ago when Alicia shot her husband in the head 5 times. Bit intense, I know, but basically since then she hasn't spoken a single word to anyone. No one knows what happened, no one knows the true story of what happened, and no one knows why she isn't talking. No one knows anything about her. She has just been sitting away for 6 years and not saying a single word. So basically there's this one psychiatrist who kind of thinks he can change her and who thinks that he can be the one to finally make her speak and be the one to uncover all of the secrets about Alicia. This book was okay, I'll be honest. Like, it was good at the start. Like, it had some thrilling moments that make you be kind of shocked, like, oh my god, what just happened? But then after I finished the book, I was like, oh my god, what just happened? In a bad way. Like, I wasted time reading this. It didn't feel thrilling at all to me. I gave this one 2.5 stars. If you like the description I've just given you, go ahead and read it, but I will say I kind of hated it. Whoops. Next is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This book, yes, I have a massive smile on my face again because just thinking about Tessa Bailey books, I can't be sad when I'm thinking about Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey is my mother. My real mother, Taylor Swift, and Tessa Bailey are my mothers. Those 3 women are the ones I owe my life to, and this book is the very first Tessa Bailey book I read, and my life has not been the same since because It Happened One Summer is the cutest small town romance book you will ever read in your life, because I gave it 5 stars for starters, and Piper and Brendan are just the cutest couple in the world. They are so beautiful, so adorable, so perfect in every single way. So basically, to give you a little rundown of the book, Piper is a kind of stuck-up fashion influencer in LA who's kind of got everything she wants. She gets money from her stepfather and she just lives a very indulgent life. Basically, she gets everything she wants, and then her stepfather one day realizes that she needs a reality check and that she needs to stop living this super indulgent life and that she needs kind of a lesson in life and she needs to learn what it's like to live the hard way. So basically, she is sent to a small town called Westport. The story just follows Piper reconnecting with her past in a range of ways. I won't share what I mean by that because it's a spoiler. But basically, Piper meets Brendan, a fisherman who's kind of just your classic grumpy book hero. He is rude, he's mean, he's grumpy, doesn't want to talk to anyone, is not interested in Piper in the slightest at the start. Yeah, at the start. Keyword. They just clash. They don't see a reason to talk to each other. There's no need to connect with each other. They're just living their lives in the town. Get towards the end of the book, or the middle and the end of the book, Piper starts to reconsider her life in LA and her life in Westport and begins to wonder if her fashionable, glamorous life in LA is the one she's truly destined for, or if she is actually falling in love with the town of Westport and the people in it. This one I gave 5 stars. Tessa Bailey is just my mother, my best friend, my Lord and Saviour. Tessa Bailey, you've done it again with this book. Everyone needs to read this book. Next, I'm going to talk about a couple more. This one is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I absolutely love this woman again. Tessa Bailey, Anna Huang, 2 of my favourite authors in the whole world. Twisted Love is a brother's best friend, enemies to lovers romance, and it is just one of those reads that you can get lost in forever. It's got one of those book boyfriends who just make you cry because they don't exist in real life. Twisted Love follows Alex and Ava. Ava's brother Josh moves away for a job and he needs someone to look over his little sister because she's independent, she's a queen, she can look after herself, but obviously her brother doesn't think so because he's a protective brother. Josh gets Alex to move in next door to Ava where he lived and watch over her, make sure she's okay, make sure she's safe. Ava obviously hates this idea because she does not need some man to look after her because she's a queen, obviously. But then they kind of clash in a multitude of ways. It's an enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine, just those 2 tropes together mean the 2 main characters are going to clash in a range of ways. Ava has a scary childhood. They both have scary childhoods with a bunch of secrets to uncover, and the story follows the 2 of them gradually getting closer with each other as their secrets and the hauntings of their past come into their connection and put them against each other in a way, or put them against their past and make it really difficult to be together. It is such an amazing story. 5 stars. It is in a series of 4 books, the Twisted series. This is book number 1, so that's why I'm recommending this instead of other books, just because it makes sense to get this one first. But yeah, those were a few books that I wanted to recommend with you guys. I do have a few more, or more like 150 more, that I want to talk about, and I could talk about for hours, but I will leave that for another video, maybe another type of video, a trope video, another recommendation video, whatever you want or whatever I feel like. And I hope I have kind of made some of my favourite books sound amazing to you. Let's just put this over there. Hope you enjoyed this video. You can go watch me on TikTok at Charlotte May Reads, where I talk about books for hours and hours on end in a range of videos. It has been so nice to talk to you, so thank you so much. Bye.